Hello and welcome to this 10-minute practice to connect you to the water element, physically and also energetically, to a sense of fluidity and free movement and easefulness through the joints. We'll be doing a little moving meditation and then landing in some stillness at the end. The final posture, I will recommend to have a wall nearby, otherwise something to elevate the hips on. It'll be a legs up the wall type pose, but it can also be just legs up in the air. But we'll start standing at the top of your mat or wherever you are. You might just be on a carpeted soft surface, does not matter. Feet hips distance or toes touching, heels apart. Feel the lower belly draw in and up and feel the stability through the feet. The big toe, the little toe, and the heels grounding down. Inhale, the arms rise up above the head. Use the whole breath before the palms meet at the pause between the inhale and the exhale, which draws the hands down towards the heart. Inhale, arms rise again, just like that, maybe gaze lifting to the thumbs. Exhale, bend the knees and hinge the hips, flow forward, hands through heart. Head and neck hang heavy at the bottom, bending the knees as much as you need. Here, inhale, halfway lift, fingertips to shins or staying on the mat, shoulders draw away from the ears. Exhale, use the whole breath to let the spine roll out, forward fold. Inhale, bend the knees, hinge the hips to rise, circling the arms up above the head. Exhale comes as the palms meet and draw down to the heart. Again, inhale, circle the arms out and up. Exhale, bend the knees, hinge the hips, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift, spine long, chest open. Exhale, fold. Inhale, circle up. I think you might know where you're going, so you might like to close the eyes. Exhale, hands through heart. Really connecting to your breath now, finding this movement with your own body. You can look at the screen if you need some guidance. Otherwise, don't worry if it is wrong or not. Just see if you can let go of thinking about the movement, but instead letting the tide of the breath simply guide you in and out of each shift in the physical body. Letting the mind surrender into this. Take one more round and then meet me at the bottom in a forward fold. No rush to get there. Head and neck hang heavy at the bottom. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the palms, take a step back to a downward facing dog just for a moment. And then lower the knees down, hips sink back towards the heels, arms stay extended, child's pose, forehead towards the mat. Inhale, plant into the hands as you lift the hips up, round through the spine. Exhale, tailbone lifts, chest open, sink the hips back, child's pose. Inhale to lift up. Exhale to lift the chest, lift the tailbone, and then sink the hips back towards the heels. 5 rounds like that with your own breath. Any intuitive changes to this little flow you're welcome to take. But see if you can keep the transitions really smooth, avoiding any stillness, and just keep moving. Again, you might close down the eyes if they have opened again. Meeting me back in a child's pose on your next exhale. This time on your next inhale, you'll draw the hips over towards the right, lifting the chest as you send it over, coming with the shoulders over the wrists. And then the hips draw back in that same direction, over the heels and then over towards the left. Maybe a little crack of the knees, I always get that in this one. Again, making this really intuitive. Any little back bends you'd like to add, please go for it. Again, on the next exhale, sink back into your child's pose. And lift the chest, drawing the fingertips in towards the body, sitting on the heels for a moment and landing in stillness. Feeling those flowing movements land and integrate into the body. Like you've dropped a pebble into a pond and the ripples are starting to soften and spread as the water of the pond comes back into a soft stillness. A stillness that isn't stuck or static, but transitional. The water isn't bothered by the fact that it might be moved again, or that by the fact that for now it is still. It simply is what it is. Is there a way that you can bring in that acceptance into your life in some way, or simply into this moment? And draw the feet over to one side and come onto your hips, and you'll find that legs up the wall shape. So you might swing your legs up a wall if you have one nearby, or if not, coming onto your back. Lift the hips, place a cushion or a block underneath the hips, and then the legs extend up high above you. Take your time to find a place where this feels relatively effortless. It might feel supportive to place the palms on the front of the thighs so the legs have something to kind of lean into. And then maybe closing down the eyes, maybe keeping a soft gaze. Imagining here that with every exhale, a rush of water draws from the tips of the toes down into the heels, the ankles of the feet. The water pulls at the ankles. And then as if the ankles open up, the water begins to rush down the calves, the front of the shins, and pulling at the knees. And then again, as if the knees open up with the weight of this water, this warm water begins to run down the thighs and the inside of the hamstrings down into the hips and the pelvic bowl. Filling this space, pulling there. Draw the knees in towards the chest really softly. Come onto your back flat, either by moving away from the wall or removing any props you have underneath you. And bring your hands down to your lower belly. One breath in here. A soft breath out. And stay here for as long as you'd like, or make your way to a seat to close this practice. Have a wonderful day.